sin always separates from God. But that's because, in a real sense, the law was always present. You remember in the second chapter of Romans, he says, even those who are without the written law have the law of God written in their hearts. And what Romans is simply telling us is that where there's no law, there's no imputation of sin. But the truth is, there's nowhere where there's no law, really. Now, it is true that in the Old Testament time, when the law was not as fully revealed and was not as sophisticated as it was in later times, God was more patient with men. And God overlooked some of their evil and withheld his judgment and his wrath because it was a primitive time, or a more primitive time, as the law was still unfolding and men were still coming to grips with the things of God. But basically, the verse is simply intending to say, of Adam, by one man sin entered into the world. Well, it came by Adam. He must have sinned. And sin is separation from God. And the proof of it is he was kicked out of the garden, right? God said, no longer will you walk and talk with me in this garden of paradise. You're gone. And he put a flaming sword in the hand of an angel at the east of the garden to keep him from coming back in there because he had no right to fellowship with God anymore. So yes, he was separated from God. And through him, death came on all men. But God withheld, or God withholds any punishment where there's no law. But the truth is, all men understand in conscience or in revelation the law of God. That's a simple explanation for it. Okay?
Thanks.
Good question. And the tape I did on Romans 5 will cover that in more detail. If you'd like, you can pick that up, stop at the tape room out there and tell them I told them to give it to you as a gift, okay?